In Blocktails, there are over 50 plus cards, and some of these cards range from very strong to decent and the not so strong cards. In today's video, I will be going over the not so strong cards and explain why they aren't super good, as well as giving some potential buff ideas for the cards, so I hope you enjoy. Also, before we get into the video, I do have a Discord where we talk about games like Blocktails and where I share sneak peeks of future videos, so if you would like to join our Discord, the link will be in the description. So our first card is Filfine. Now I wouldn't say this card is bad, but it's just not very good either. I would say it's decent at best, and let me explain why. Alright, so what Filfine does is basically it gets rid of any status effect you have on you or an ally and gives you immunity from status effects for 2 turns. This seems good on paper, but when you use this move, you always go before the person you use it on, and it kind of instantly wastes a turn since you go before them. So in reality, you kind of waste one of the immunity turns immediately, which sucks. Like I said, this card isn't trash, but it isn't good, so either my buff suggestion would be just to increase the immunity buff by literally 1 turn, and I think that would make it a good card. Doing this would make it so you don't have to use the card every other turn when going against enemies or bosses with poison, especially in Demo 2. And I know you can stack the card, but since it is a drop card, which tend to be rarer and harder for people to get unless you grind for hours or days on end. The next card I feel is a bit too weak is Snowball. Now Snowball is a secret card you can get from behind the waterfall in Road Town, and only one version of it exists so far as in Demo 2. Now what this card does is it freezes the enemies for 2 turns, but again, like with Filfine, one of these turns are kind of instantly wasted, but that's not the issue here. The issue here is another card called Comatose, and this card does the exact same thing but better. Both Snowball and Comatose cost 2 SP to use in battle and 1 BP to have in your deck, and the difference is Comatose puts the enemies to sleep for 3 turns, while Snowball freezes them for 2 turns. There really is just no reason to use Snowball over Comatose at any time, as at the moment Comatose is obviously the better option. Now again, this is a simple fix by just making Snowball's freeze last 1 turn longer, and it would actually make Snowball a decent card to use and wouldn't make Comatose overshadow it completely. The same kind of applies to Daze, as unlike Snowball, the Dizzy effect applies to enemies for 3 turns, but they aren't always guaranteed to not attack. So like the question is, why would you want to use Daze for a chance for the enemies not to attack over Comatose, which puts them to sleep for 3 turns and guarantees them to make them not attack? It's like, why would you pick Daze over Comatose, as it doesn't really make sense, the same as why would you pick Snowball over Comatose, if you know what I mean. Now I have no idea what to buff about Daze, but I just feel like it isn't worth using compared to Comatose, because basically, you're gambling for a chance for enemies not to attack, while Comatose guarantees the enemies not to attack. Now, the next card is Good Vibes, and what this card does is it costs 2 BP to have in your deck, and when you use it, it puts you to sleep, and for every turn you're asleep, you restore 3 HP and 1 SP to your entire party. This seems good on paper, but like, when you go on the battlefield, enemies can wake you up if they hit you while you're asleep, and I feel like Ice Dagger just does it way better. It's way cheaper, it doesn't put you to sleep, and you don't even have to waste any BP or SP on it. So like, why not just use Ice Dagger? I think to make this card like a decent usable card, you could maybe buff the HP or SP gain from when you're asleep, or maybe just lower the SP cost to use the card itself or something. I really don't know, I just feel like this card just sucks in general. I don't really have any good ideas to buff it. Now this card is called SP Saver, and before I say anything, let me make this clear, this card isn't a bad card, that's not my issue with it at all. I think making all your abilities cost 1 SP less is very good. I'm not saying it's bad, but my problem with the card is it costing 6 BP. It's a good card, yes, and I get this card needs to be expensive, but I feel like 6 BP is just way overkill, especially for this card. I think this card could maybe be 4 to 5 EP. I think those would be more reasonable. That's all I have to really say about that. That's it. And the next card is Sacrifice. Now again, Sacrifice isn't a bad card, it's just there's not another version of it. With Cure getting 3 copies of it and Resurrect getting 2 copies of it in Demo 2, I feel like Sacrifice is just falling a little behind, as most builds have like 15 to 20 HP now. And yeah, I just want another copy of it. Hopefully that will come in Demo 3, but until then, Sacrifice is kinda sucky right now. Now the last card I'm going to be talking about in this video is Pity SP. When used, Pity SP takes away 8 HP but gives 5 SP to the player of your choice, and I feel like 8 SP is a lot just for 5 SP. I don't see why it's 8 SP. If it was party-wide, I would get the amount of HP, but since it's only one player of your choice, why not just use SP Wire or something? I can only see this being useful for like healer builds or tanky builds or something, but other than that, if it was party-wide, then it would be fine, but it does kind of suck. Now, I would reduce Pity SP to like 5 HP or make the SP gain party-wide, but yeah. Now, that's basically all the cards I think are currently weak as far as Blocktails Demo 2. Let me know if you think some cards are weak that I didn't go over in this video, and if you don't agree with my opinions, don't kill me, please and thank you. Now, that's basically the end of the video here. Thank you for watching, and also, if you do want to join my Discord, remember the link to my Discord is in the description. Until then, see ya.